Anakatos walks among us, and the citizens are awed. This act seems small to you, Beckoned, but it is enough to give my people hope. I thank you on their behalf, if nothing else. I listen. What can I do?
Very well.
You must be the one I've been hearing so much talk about. The one that has been beckoned by Athene. You are truly someone special. Special enough that perhaps you could help me with a task that has been of great concern to me. I am a loyal follower of Secandra and the Colossi Guard. If you walk safely in these lands, it is thanks to us, in part. We have always known that in our darkest times, the gods would send the beckoned. Now that you are here, should I be worried? The city is strong and beautiful. I hope it is the first of many other great Colossi works. We came to this land years ago, and yet we are still strangers here. We are strong, and we are loved by the gods. Or so I am told. But I cannot shake this feeling that, despite our virtues, we are not strong enough for this land. They were Colossi, but they gave up completely on the gods. They have reverted to barbarism now, and kill any they find. This small shrine acts as a conduit of the gods' power. It uses only small portions of this power, but if we could get it activated... This place is crawling with vicious beasts, Beckoned. But more dangerous are the marauders. I seek to restore this shrine, so that the patrols of the Teeth of Naros can take use of it. The shrine carries the blessings of the gods, relaying them to special litanies. However, the magics of the shrine have worn out. But it can be repaired. With 5 of these litanies, the magics of the shrine can be restored. The shrine is a conduit of the gods' blessings. From healing magics to invulnerability, much could be gained for the devoted. But the blessings of this shrine could be relayed to special litanies, so that the magics could be enjoyed from anywhere. The shrine has lost its magic. But it could be restored if we can bring 5 litanies back to it. Thank you, friend. I would search myself, but I would need to leave my post to do so. And I must keep the watch. 5. Yes, 5 litanies should hold enough magic to restore the altar to working condition. Gather them and bring them here. They are scattered throughout the teeth of Naros. Take care out here.
We are here. That is good. I feel hope stirring in my veins once more. It is the prospect of reconciliation that has granted me a second youth. Come. We must kill the alphas of each Eyrie. With their veins in hand, we shall fulfill the gods' wishes. The Terriks, but while there are many lesser, we must act. Feel Balin's embrace. Feel Balin's embrace. Thus we begin. And as we harvest these trophies, you shall learn the journey the Colossi have taken to get here. Once we were but savages, no better than the other giant kin. We were called Myru, and to that identity we were chained, until one day, Athene spoke to us. She spoke of a destiny and greatness that was not ours, but could be. She showed us the path of ascension, and we followed it here, to the teeth of Naros. No, we are far from the homeland of our ancestors. Undoubtedly the gods wished us to renounce our savage history. It was necessary. Though the Jotun and Etin once regarded us as kin, they grew jealous of us, of the strength we gained from the gods' favor. Tensions rose to war. It was a sign from Athene to my people to seek a new homeland, where the bounty of her wisdom could be harvested eternally. We must act. Feel Balin's embrace! Feel my wrath! We wandered the teeth of Naros in search of the homeland we were promised. And when hope seemed lost, we found the Hyperion. It was a divine artifact. No mortal hand could have crafted it, a massive stone, alone in the wilderness, with the image of a floating city engraved upon its surface. At the city's heart was the Hyperion itself. We knew then Athene was tasking us to craft this wondrous city, to form a covenant. But we betrayed that ideal. To test our worthiness, the gods have strewn throughout Amalur riddles, puzzles, and challenges. Answering them demonstrates our greatness. The Hyperion is one such challenge. Perhaps the greatest of them. And though we discovered it years before, we still do not have the answer. We must act. Feel my wrath! Feel my wrath! Feel Balin's embrace! In the end, the city rose, but the Hyperion did not follow. The heart of the city remained unmoved. That we could not abide. My predecessor, Arche, sought to force the Hyperion up, but the Hyperion rejected him, killing him and his followers, and sealed itself away. Our work here is concluded. As a show of thanks, take these. The Pterics are mighty, and their hides light but strong. These will serve you well. The cipher you carry is a conduit to the gods, to their wisdom, their judgment, and their power. You carry it, and thus you are their intermediary. Since you will bear witness to the ritual of atonement, the gods will as well. It is a riddle carved of stone that the gods left for us. It shows a city of the clouds, with the Hyperion itself floating at its heart. It was a covenant the gods wished to form with us, to raise Idylla and the Hyperion with it. But the riddle is difficult, and we have no answer for it. I must make the gods see that my people can be redeemed for the faults of Arches. With the wreath in hand, I can conduct a ritual of atonement, As you bear the cipher, the conduit to the gods, you will bear witness. Come, we must conduct this ceremony at the site of our original transgression. Let us go to the Hyperion. If it will not, then why were you brought to me? To give pretense to salvation, to raise our hopes, only to crush them with failure? I know the gods of my forerunners. They would not flaunt the answer to their riddles without sharing it. Now come. The Hyperion awaits. This is not a ritual in a traditional sense. Never have we fallen so far. Never have we needed such an act of conviction. We must go to the Hyperion, which lies beneath the city of Idylla. It is the site of our great sin, and to be the site of our great absolution. Very well, Beckoned.
Who wanders into my camp? What is this? You are far too small to be a colossi. So it's true then. The Beckoned has come. I once tried to forge peace between the Jotun and the colossi, but as I did, I became enamored of the simplicity they enjoy. I have taken to living in this old camp to try and enjoy it as I can. The heads of the city's inhabitants are as high in the clouds as the city itself, with their talk of religion and righteous gods. I much prefer to stay closer to the ground and stick to my roots. The Jotun have wronged the colossi in the past, but the colossi have a shared history with them. It was right to grant them mercy. They act like they are above everything, but they are mud and dust, like everything else in this world. They just aren't decent enough to admit it. Most find it completely inhospitable, but I find that it is not so difficult if you try a different sort of living. Yes, the plants are unpalatable, and the beasts cunning. But you can't expect nature to offer you wine and sweets if all you do is ask. This is my home, but not for much longer. I moved out here to reconnect with my roots, you see, my heritage as a giant race. However, my time on my own has come to an end. I am ready to take the next step and go and live amongst the Jotun of the teeth of Naros. There are only loose ends that need to be taken care of, but I have sworn off Idylla for all days I have left. Karunk was my chief concern with me trying to move in with the Jotun. Now that he is dead, it seems to be the perfect time to do this. The logical step is that I must live among the Jotun. Yes, I do. I have lived on my own in this abandoned Jotun camp long enough. Would you? I will reward you for your help. I will not be needing the coin where I am going. I want for my family ring, currently in the hands of my brother Heliodorus, and to see my journal delivered to my old comrade Darius. But Perhaps most of all, I want you to find my wife, Corina. I would like you to bring her here to me. You must retrieve my family ring. The ring is currently in the possession of my rather odious brother Heliodorus in Idylla. I doubt he will surrender it kindly. He hides it in the living quarters of Idylla. You can try liberating the ring yourself, or finding a way of dealing with my brother. Convince Corina to come down from the city and see me. If you could bring her here, then I can talk her into living with me and the Jotun. My journal needs to be delivered to my friend, Darius. He is most likely camped out somewhere in the teeth of Naros. Be quick, stay safe.
You must be the beckoned, the blessed visitor from an unknown land. But perhaps, if you have the strength to reach these lands alone, then you are strong enough to aid me. I have been studying the trolls in the area and have seen something of great concern. The trolls have unearthed a number of urns which possess a deadly magic. They are curious. For as long as we have been here, my people have not encountered the like of these urns, nor the ashes they contain. I lack the strength to face the magics of these urns, but Athene is in your thoughts. You could destroy them. The trolls believe these urns to be artifacts of the god Naros, but the ashes they contain have a vile, corrupting magic. I fear what may happen if the trolls are left in control of these urns, and the power they contain. Thank you for your help with this. The ashes contained in those urns are too dangerous. There were tomes and prayers written in your honor centuries ago. We were forced to leave them behind, but if only you had seen them. I manage to do what I can in the way of study. There are few resources available for a student of history out here. But it is important nonetheless. Where would we be if not for historians? How would we have acclimated to this land so quickly? Idylla is indeed the most beautiful city one will ever see, for the gods themselves inspired it. I would prefer to stay within the sturdy walls of Idylla, but nothing can really substitute for practical experience, can it? This is the homeland of the trolls, so to speak. I aim to study them, so I must do so in the wild. Imposing and indignant creatures, we Colossi have managed to drive the majority of them from this vicinity. But those that remain have started digging. For what? I don't truly know. Only that they seek some means of retribution. There are troll dens scattered around the Teeth. It is probably best to start your search there. However, you will be able to feel the dark magic when you are near to one of the urns. Mind the trolls if you can.
Hello there, Beckoned. Been traveling in the teeth of Naros? This is Histus's research. So that must mean he is preparing to go live with the Jotun. I cannot say I completely agree with Histus's methods, but I can respect his intent with his research. Thank you, Beckoned. Wish him the best for me. I am a diplomat, so to speak. Though they lack our grace, some of the brutes of this place have in them a shred of reason. The marauders were once thinking, feeling colossi, and the Jotun were kin as well. I must try to appeal to their wisdom. Istus is a dear friend of mine, formerly a peer, but as we tried to build ties with the Jotun, well, things turned. With this city still being incomplete, I have found myself more interested in research than the gods. We have been given the light of Athene, but we should share that with as many as we can. The Jotun have old ties to the Colossi, very old ones. We marshaled their strength for the glory of Athene before we came here. We felt ourselves their custodians, but they viewed us as masters, and their resentment only grew from there. We have earned much for our closeness with the gods, but we have a duty to share that connection with all of Amalur. The Teeth of Naros is a very dangerous place. Even those that know the dangers well can still find themselves at its mercy, or lack thereof. Hello there.
The city is grand when you are in it. Go, place them at the Litany altar, and it will activate the magic of all the other... Take care out here. Now that you have placed the litanies at the Litany altar and activated their magic, any other litanies you may come across will be helpful to you. Here is one I found while you were searching for the 5 to place at the Litany altar. Take it as a reward. Thank you for your help, Beckoned. You've restored the magic of the shrine. Now the patrols and I can finally make use of it. And you as well, of course. Take care out here.
Greetings,
You destroyed all the urns? What a relief! Their dark magic will no longer be attainable by the trolls. You can withstand these magics. Perhaps you can make use of this artifact I've uncovered. A grim shield, but strong. Safe travels, Beckett.
What brings the beckoned to me on this day? You have seen Histus? I have not heard from him in so long. I was worried something had happened to him. What business has he sent you on? That fool! He is as oblivious and idealistic as the day I took him for my husband. Very well, I will see him after straightening out some affairs. Lawbreakers in Idylla do not enjoy the luxury of internment. All lawbreakers are immediately subjected to combat. It may seem severe, but we are a wise people. None have had need to test this punishment, least of all you, I am sure. Farewell, beckoned. What brings the beckoned to me on? Mine is the duty to safeguard the Colossi from any threat. So Secondra has charged all the guard. The Primos is the leader of our people in prayer and in other matters of life. They are appointed by Athene herself. I understand that you and she have met. She is powerful, is she not? Truly a paragon of might and virtue. Tread carefully.
You have come again. They roam the...
Many greetings, stranger.
I almost did not see.
How goes the search for my Galatea? Yes. And how was it? Was it unharmed? That statue is my wife, Galatea, so to speak. In truth, my wife is dead. Murdered by a monstrous troll named Kern years before. I carved that statue to remember her by. Every year on the anniversary of her death, I work on it more so that I'd never forget her face. But even that has been denied me. So the only solace I have left is knowing my wife's killer is dead. Find Kern, beckoned, and bring his end for me. Please. Go back to the Warren and search for him there. That is where he ambushed my wife and me years before. My wife was killed by a troll down in the Warren. All I have left to remember her by is a statue I began carving for her down below. But as I am forbidden to leave the city, the only comfort I have is knowing the statue is still intact. Take care.
Many greetings.
Welcome to Idylla.
Be careful here. I expect...
Do you bring news from below? With my brother indisposing himself, it falls to me to keep watch over my family's estate, little though it is. Do not trouble me with such talk. I know the sins of my people well enough. We all do. Histis has the nerve to call himself a brother, living in the wilds, acting like a savage. Might as well be a marauder. Look at this place. Why would anyone choose the wilds below over this?
My family has done much for this city, so we are given our own private station in these quarters. They serve well enough, but I cannot say they compare to the home we had before we came to these blasted lands. They are the lowest, colossi without faith, mindless, violent, and forever despairing. My brother, I would hardly consider Histis family anymore. He left that behind when he turned his back on civilization, like one of those marauders. What business has he sent you on, Beckoned? I suppose I have been rather hard on Histis. If he feels this is his calling, then I should support him as family. The ring is in my chest over there. Here is the key to open it. Yes, farewell.
Greetings. I hope you'll be careful with them.
Can the beckoned be so?
Can I help? So you have completed the tasks, but I do not see Corina. Then her choice is made. Well, there is no more putting this off. I must take my leave. Well, the Jotun go with bare feet, so I will as well. Take my sandals, Beckoned. They may be of some use to you. Perhaps you are right. The Jotun are not exactly the most reasonable of creatures when it comes to outsiders. I suppose I could wait and observe them a bit longer before I make an attempt to live with them. Thank you for your help, Beckoned. You truly speak with the wisdom of Athene. There's not really enough space in this camp for two.
Beckoned. I was told that you and the Primos are allowed to enter. By all means, conduct what business you have within. This structure behind me is the holiest site in these lands. I can speak no more of it. I am sorry. I do not doubt that the Primos is loved by the gods. When the rest toiled in futility, he raised the whole of Idylla. Truly, it was a miracle. They are colossi who have witnessed the holiness of Anokatos and sworn oaths to serve his every will. The garb they wear reminds themselves of our savage past, and how they are unworthy of all things, even the act of speech. Hence their name. I am a humble guardian of this complex, here to make sure that none sully it with their footsteps.
You have come, good. We stand in a ground once hallowed beyond all things, now tainted by the excommunication of my people. Ever since that terrible day when arrogance and desperation brought about the disfavor of the gods, my followers have tended this place. Now come. We shall go to the antechamber of the Hyperion, the very spot where the sins of the Colossi were answered. It is where the former Primos, Arches, bade the Hyperion to rise to join our city. Where the gods saw fit to condemn us for our hubris, it will be the altar of our forgiveness. The antechamber is the flawed design of Arches. It was the means by which he sought to force the Hyperion to join the city. It was to do so using the spark of divine magic Athene placed into each of us, that these fragments combined would create a force equal to that of a god. Such power was never meant to be wielded by the unworthy. The energies struck back at Arches, and the many assembled in his chamber, killing them. The end of
I am glad to see you survived the Teryx Eries beckoned, and now I see that Anokatos is intent on fulfilling his whim. I would be careful. The temple is old. Since we elected to spare the Jotun, I can return to my regular duties of keeping the peace in these lands. Anokatos requested an escort for his followers here. Would that I could refuse, but the Primos asked for me personally. I dislike this place. For all we saw when claiming Arches' circlet, this temple is his true tomb. It is the tomb of so many. We learned definitively that all the trials we surmounted, all the strife we weathered in pursuit of Athene's love, had been in vain. But the most important lesson was learned by few. We cannot depend on the heavens to support us. We should make our own way in this world. Arches and Anokatos have already shown me the delusions of faith. I only hope this farce is done with quickly. It is a dead end for my people. Just one more thing to distract them from the Teeth's troubles. Very well.
Much was ruined in that dark hour. The magics holding the paths together were unbound. Only the cipher can reorder such magics. Press ahead and set the path. Nothing without the Hyperion at its heart. If you were curious... The mural you see before us is meant to represent the triumph of my people. But all I see is a broken promise. The mural depicts the great sanctification my people have undergone. We were never to ascend past the brutish people you see depicted. Yet here we are now, thanks to the will of the gods and their tests of valor. But now that they've fallen silent, what awaits us? I know the answer already. Regression. We are so close. Again, we find the way barred. I'm afraid I need your help once more. Finish this. We are almost done, almost done, Beckett. We have reached it. Beyond that stone is the Hyperion, the gift of the gods, the symbol of a covenant concluded. It rests out of reach, waiting for the day when the gods forgive our trespass, when they find us worthy again. Until now, I feared such a day would not come. We should begin. The gods visited this room once before. It seems only fit that you occupy their position. I will take my place where Arceus once stood. Long before, Arceus dared grasp the power of the gods and was judged according to his impudence. We act now as their analogues. In you, the gods visit this chamber once more. You shall stand where they appeared and made manifest their wrath. And I shall stand where Arceus stood and bore the brunt of their imminent will. The end of this awaits. Praise be to them after all this time. I bear witness to their confirmation. You have done so well, Beckoned, to bring the cipher to me and to let me use its strength. With you, I can do what Arcas could not. Command the Hyperion. This chamber harnesses the magic needed to control the Hyperion. But before you appeared with the cipher, no force was sufficient. I knew that when we first met, when I first sensed the cipher, that I could unseal the Hyperion and command its power. Why else would the gods furnish you, whom I needed most in my lowest hour? The gods have found my people unworthy of the gifts offered us. So, using the Hyperion, I will see Idilla destroyed. The wicked will be purged. And once the city falls, I will reforge the ruins in an image the gods find acceptable. I'm sorry, Beckoned, but you must be a martyr for my cause.
Beckoned. What has happened? Why are Anakatos' acolytes attacking us? What is he doing with the Hyperion? The Primos has lost his senses. If he thinks his actions will return the love of the gods, he's gone mad with grief. Curse the gods for leaving the thing here. Anakatos will use it to kill all of us. Destroy Idylla? No! That zealous fool! Have the loss of his gods driven him to such despair to use the Beckoned and the Cipher for such ends? We must make our way from this place. We need to stop Anakatos, but we cannot do so here. Things are bound to be dangerous. Take this. I have not seen a shield of this craft before, but I think you can make use of it. Now, let us move. How if we cannot reach him? And we can do nothing to stop him if his worshippers kill us here. We must make for the surface, and hope that there is time enough for us to deal with him. Very well. Anakatos has sealed himself in with the Hyperion, and his silent choir will lay down their lives for him. I do not know what to do, Beckoned. I have defended my people from beasts and disasters, but nothing like this. Of course, I will not let Anakatos destroy my people because he believes the gods demand it. I know we have the strength we need inside of us, despite his claims. We are worth saving, even if the gods disagree. But Anakatos has sealed himself in the Hyperion antechamber. Without the cipher and knowledge of the Hyperion, we are lost. Anakatos was clever by exploiting your power. The cipher must be the key to unlocking the Hyperion, and he has broken it in his plan. But that is the one thing my people have been unable to do since we first came here. Only the Primos would know enough about the riddle for us to even try. Anakatos and his silent choir had a monastic retreat in the wilderness, Nixaros. If we need his knowledge, we best start our search there. It is an old portion of the city that was never raised up. It was supposed to be a shrine of quiet contemplation. Now it is the refuge of Anakatos' silent choir. The complex rests where it was first carved, in the Mountains of the Teeth. Be cautious in these lands.
You have slain Kern. I now have the peace of mind to know that my wife's murderer is no longer around to torment her grave. I cannot thank you enough. I have little of my own, but take these. The gauntlets I wore when I first started carving stone. May they serve you. I miss her every day, but there is some small comfort in knowing that her death has been avenged. Take care. Hello there. Ah, yes, the Beckoned. There has been much talk of you recently. I have been hoping to speak with you since I heard of your stay in Idylla. I have a task for you, one no one else in the city can perform. Faith keeps most of our laws enforced, but I handle the ones not worthy of our god's close care. The Hyperion was to be the heart of this city, but it has eluded us for so long. How can we endure without it? You will not lay eyes on a greater city in Amalur. It was a beauty on the ground, and is now only more beautiful that it has been raised into the clouds. Would that we could cut ourselves off from it entirely. But though few will call it such, this is our true homeland. We have a plant in this city, the Evenroot. It was brought with the utmost care from our homeland. There was a special tender for the Evenroot, but he has passed. No colossi but the tender or his heir can care for the plant, so tradition dictates. The heir is en route to our city, but the Evenroot will die if it is not tended, and the heir is weeks away. Indeed you are not. No colossi but the heir may complete this ritual. But you are no colossi, are you? I must say, there was no greater relief than when I heard the Beckoned was an outsider. Oh, thank the gods. I have been at my wit's end for days trying to devise some way of appeasing all parties. It has not been easy. To water the Evenroot, you will require spring water from Njordr's font. This water is outside the city, along with the vessel to carry the water. Find this vessel, the amphora, and fill it with water from the font. Then bring the water to the plant and tend it. It is a ceremonial container and part of the Evenroot ceremony. It is kept near Njordr's font. It is located in Njordr's font. Find it. It is a pure, clean mountain spring, named in honor of the god of water. It is the only source we can use when tending the Evenroot. Be careful outside.
Please, do not disturb the tragedians in their work.
Be careful here.
You have come again. Very well.
The gods are good to us.
I can help. Return to me if your equipment requires repair. Farewell. The Beacon! Would you like something to help with flesh wounds? Be careful there, Beacon. I have potions to offer you. beckoned. I have potions. For every need. You must be the best. Mind yourself in the sewers. Tread carefully. You must be the best. How may I...
You are the... Do you require assistance? I can enjoy the debates.
Ah, you must be the beckoned. Your fate. I cannot think but I have been blinded. But you are the only flaw in my gaze. Would that I could
What do you think of our humble academy, Chosen One? Could I perhaps convince you to debate one of my prodigies? Surely the Beckoned of Athene would be a worthy lecturer. He did not have the strength needed to appeal to the gods, though he was named Primos. His virtue faded over time. Many argue the meaning of the Beckoned. Are you a conduit of the gods, or are you merely their messenger? I know what you are, though. You are the strength of the gods incarnate. If anything, this city is great for separating the weak and impious from the strong. Not all have kept the promises we made to the gods. Some have left our city to live in the wilds, as if they were the Myru. Fools. I will admit, times are difficult for the school. Few have the fire within them to debate. They seem to prefer moping. That is what we were before the gods sought to raise us up. Life for the Myru was not as you see here. The Myru cared only for base pleasures, carnage, conquest, and power. They were far from the enlightened people the Colossi are today. I am the master of the Lycaeos. I do what I can to enlighten the minds of those who enter my academy. I despair that the Lycaeos has passed under the awareness of one so blessed. Our academy is the center of conversation for philosophy and theology in Idylla. Would you be opposed to joining us for a dialogue or two? It would be an honor. The spears, you mean? They are for the debate. Wonderful! With the hard times about us, I worry that our long-kept traditions will eventually be lost as the school's influence wanes. Your involvement is sure to spark interest in the Lycaeos once again. Now, let us begin. In your first debate, you face Thais, one of my most promising students. Study hard.
Greetings, Beckoned. I take it that Onisimos wishes me to go through with this debate? Very well. Oh, the city? It is... well, it is grand, as everyone says. I wish I could say more of it, but I spend most of my time in the Lycaeos. Though the Lycaeos is open to all who wish to debate, some choose to spend their lives mastering the arguments. Like me. I hope it will make me a stronger Colossi. I am, the youngest of Onisimos' students. There is much I have yet to learn. You are? Then, I will begin. I mean, here is the topic of discussion. A torrential storm sweeps a youngling and a full-grown colossi into the flow of a river. A big one. A river, I mean. Now, there is only time to save one. Which should one choose to save? You would choose to spare the potential for strength over the certainty of it? That's a stance few might stand by. Very well, let us begin the debate. Let us prepare. Then, here we go. Here's my new thesis.
You smashed him senseless, Beckoned. Why, this is the form all debates take here at the Lycaeus. Opening statements are made, and combat determines the victor. I am unsure what else you were expecting. That said, will you allow others to challenge you? You appear to be quite skilled. Speak to Sisters. He is eager to debate with you. My students, study hard.
You are much smaller. Is it my turn to challenge you, Beckoned? I am eager to test you, and myself. I remember when this city sat on firm earth instead of thin air. Those were dark times, where daily we grappled with the wilds of the teeth of Naros, but we endured. And now we have carved a near paradise for ourselves among the clouds. No finer city exists. There is no greater home, no event, no thought, no prayer is raised that does not get tried and tested in our debates. I am a student of the Masters, and there is no greater joy for me than the debate. I truly love it here. Currently, my studies have me exploring the value of life versus that of the spirit. I am glad. Tell me, what is the most effective display of strength in the following scenario? On a trip across a vast desert, you and a companion encounter a boulder. It is an airborne boulder, and it crushes your friend. He tells you, "Leave me, Beckoned. Even were you to lift this boulder from off my battered body, I would be but half a colossi." What would the strong do? That would be most efficient. Still, I believe one should allow their friend the honor of a natural death. His final moments should be spent like he spent his life, fighting through the pain. Let us begin the debate. Prepare yourself. I look forward to your counter-argument. Here's my true response.
An absolutely scintillating debate, Beckoned. Sisters didn't stand a chance. Are you ready for another? Find my disciple Zeno when you are. He wishes to challenge you. Speak to Zeno. He wishes to study hard.
You are the Beckoned? I wish to challenge you. Sister Synthase are worthy opponents. That you have debated them is impressive indeed, especially for one so short. Our city stands the highest in all of Amalur, and that means that it is the greatest. It is no coincidence that our culture and virtue have flourished up here among the clouds. It is built to honor the struggle we all must go through to attain wisdom, and we embody that struggle every day. I am a relatively new debater, but already I have made my mark. I outranked Thace in the Master's eyes, though we became disciples on the same day. My area of interest is the nature of war. You are one of the greatest debaters I have ever seen, Beckoned. I hope I present a worthy challenge. My query for you is simple. What makes a war worth fighting? That is a suitable response, if a bit subjective. I am of the belief that nothing makes war more worth fighting than a worthy opponent, such as yourself. Prepare yourself for debate. Prepare yourself. My logic is made clear.
Zeno's argument was hastily prepared drivel next to your well-constructed thesis. Fine, an older disciple, wishes to debate with you. Speak to Fine. She is... Study hard.
You've defeated many of Master Onisimos' students, Beckoned. I am the oldest, the most powerful. Prepare yourself to face the Master's most gifted student. The Colossi believe that ours is the greatest city in all of Amalur, Beckoned. I am inclined to agree. We were strong enough to rip it from the clutches of the earth. How could there be any doubt? No doubt the gods favor us because we have the strength to perpetuate their message. This is the center of theology in Idylla, Beckoned. My people attend to debate any topic they like, with whomever they like. We leave social standing at the door. All that matters in the Lycaeus is virtue and a sound argument. I am a student of Master Onisimos, and I hold the highest rank among all of his disciples. My current point of study is the nature of strength and its relation to virtue. Excellent! You've done well thus far, but I have another query to test you. Does might make right? That is an intriguing point, but it runs counter to the core of Colossi values. Our culture hinges on the belief that strength is given by the gods to those with the virtue to wield it. Let us debate the issue. My virtue shall prove that you are wrong. Prepare yourself. Prepare for my conclusion.
Beckoned, welcome back. Have you been enjoying? Indeed, you have defeated all of my students, Beckoned. The issue I pose to you is this, brought to my mind by your overwhelming strength. Can those with absolute power, such as yourself, have courage? If one enters battle with victory all but assured, can one also be called brave? You have proven differently here at the Lycaeos. Very well. Let us debate. Prepare yourself. Your merit will not save you. Your merit will not save you. You have my underlying gratitude for participating in our competitions. Please take this as a token of my appreciation. Word of your scintillating lectures is sure to bring attention to our school. Already there are more spectators in the Lycaeos than there have been in years. Your thoughts guard you well in combat. May this talisman offer you similar protection. Though we were all taught sound lessons, my students and I have never seen this many in the Lycaeos. Truly, you have helped us. Study hard.
Many greetings.
Have you managed to see to... The Evan route is located in the center of our... Good day. You have watered the Evan route. Thank you, friend. I can finally set aside the burden of this work. Without you, the Evan route surely would have died before the heir arrived. Please take this ring for your part in helping me, and by way of advice, there is a wild variant of Evan root in these lands. Water them like you did this one, and the rewards may be of use. There is a wild variant of the Evan root that grows throughout the teeth of Naros. You should be able to harvest them, but they will need water from the amphora, just as the main Evan root did. Since they are wild, they require less water. But after harvesting a few, you will have to refill the amphora to continue. Good day.
We cannot waste time. There does not appear to be much here, but we have to be thorough. We should try near the shrine of Athene. Anakatos prizes her above all else. I would wager he keeps his secrets with her. Nyxoros is one of the many portions of the city carved out, but never raised into the sky. Anakatos and his silent choir use it as a retreat. Very well.
Anakatos, make this record in penance for my disappointment of the supreme goddess Athene, in hopes that I may return to her favor, so that I could help my people find her strength once more. I have committed several acts that may have angered her, and now I purge myself of them so I might find her grace again.
Beckoned, not time. Seek Primus below.
That was the goddess. After years of... I cannot. We must do as she bids. Her voice sounded broken. Whatever is happening at the Hyperion troubles even her. I do not know. Anakatos has many secrets, it seems, but the information we seek might be back here. I had expected to find a written plan or some small token of what Anakatos knew, but what secrets lie in here? Very well.
I am afraid we have dishonored my master, Arches. He is a pious man who has always sought to serve, and we use the power of his position to force us on the true path without his knowledge. Slavery, oppression, pain, all I use to mold them into what is deemed worthy.
Hold a moment. These are bodies of colossi. What are they doing here? Wait, I recognize some faces. Bilfron, Armandia, these were great colossi, all viable competitors for the role of Primos at one time or another. I do not like the implications of this. What has Anakatos wrought? Farewell.
In this confession I shall tell of how my master was brought nearly to his death. Arches failed Athene in our mission to bring her servants to a devout state that would be worthy of her power and wisdom. At my behest, he sought the Hyperion force to the sky to earn our recognition. The ensuing eruption of Athene's wrath killed many, and nearly took dear Arches.
Trespassers, you are too late! The council already lies dying in the torture chambers, and the Jotun slaves will soon be butchered as the master ordered. Come, brothers and sisters, let us deal with these curs.
I found these curious blades on one of my opponents. Your agility might suit them. Now, we must make clear what that cultist said. The council must be important, something that could help us find a flaw in his plan, perhaps, or learn more about the cipher and the Hyperion. But there are also the slaves. They will be killed if we don't save them. But if the council is dying, we must choose who we see to first. I do not know what the council is, but I have had enough surprises today. I only hope that we can find it of use. I know what this place is now. These travesties, these heresies, these are what Anakatos truly is. I can only imagine what labors Anakatos had them perform. Could this have been the cause for Karank's war? I do not believe so. The council is dying if Anakatos' dogs are to be believed, and the slaves are to be executed. I am unsure who we should be trying to help, but you are the beckoned of Athene. I must defer this choice to you, so decide. Do we go to the slave pens and help the slaves? Or do we go to the torture chambers to try to find Anakatos' council before it dies? Farewell.
Finally, the day has come. The wait has been long, and nearly unbearable. But at last, you are here. Before my strength has fled me. Ever since the day I brought ruin to my people, I thought this burden was my punishment. It seems I have not survived for my sake, but for yours. It is a joy to see you beckoned. I have much to tell you, and I do not have much time left. I am Arcas. Once I was the Primos of the Colossi, but no longer. It is what Anakatos calls me, for though his faith runs deep, his knowledge of the gods' will is malformed. You must have seen the travesties this false prophet has wrought in the name of my people. And now, the Hyperion is his. We must focus on the Hyperion. The gods brought you here because you can answer the riddle of my people's fate. You and you alone.